19 days since you guys have played at home. How long does it seem?
Well, it probably seems that it's been a while. I think we just had the one interruption, but it certainly seems like it's been a while. And although we're not playing in the friendly confines of Allen Fieldhouse like we have in years past, I think the guys will be excited to get back and home and hopefully have a little comfort from playing at home.
You mentioned wanting to mix it up in practice this week. How has that gone, and do you like the energy of the team right now?
It hadn't been bad. It's actually been pretty good. There's a group of a core group of 8, that we could basically go with from a starting standpoint, and I don't know that exactly how we'll change it or positively if we will. We switched up teams and tried some different things, but the bottom line is those 8 need to play, and we got to find a way to distribute those minutes probably a little bit more evenly than what we have, and maybe cut down some minutes on a couple of guys. But it's actually gone pretty well. It's been pretty competitive.
Marcus mentioned kind of the start of a new season. Is that a player's approach or something you coaches have emphasized, or where's he getting that?
I don't know that we've said those exact words, Matt, but I think in theory it's pretty true. In that I think at every time you do something over a marathon or a long period of time, you probably have to put the reset button or the restart button at times. And I do think that sometimes, winning can camouflage your ills, and sometimes losing obviously magnifies them much more. And we've been in a situation where it's been magnified and the tape doesn't lie. And I actually don't know that I've ever used that term, but it is pretty accurate, and we can't get back what we lost, but we can certainly do everything in our power to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to finish what we start. And so I think that's pretty accurate assessment.
Hey, Bill, when you make some of those changes and mix some things up, does your brain go kind of offense first, or does it go more towards defense?
Probably more towards defense right now. And if we're going to mix it up, it has to go towards defense, because the guys that we'd be mixing up with would be defenders much more than offensive guys, coming off the bench. So I think that's the way that my mind will go if we do that. Now, with that being said, I'd like to see everybody pay attention to detail and guard better in transition and in half court defense. But I do think that there's a chance that some things have to be rattled in order to maybe get everyone's attention. And I hope that's not the case. And I know the guys are putting in the effort and the focus and all those things. But, I think I do think the fact that everybody has an understanding that you're not going to get by maybe as much as we have in the past, regardless of how you're playing offensively, if we're deficient on the defensive end. We got to figure out a way to get stops first and foremost.
Does how well DeJuan played at TCU factor into your thinking at all for this week?
No. What I'd like to factor into, Matt, is what's best for our team over time. I've never been a guy, well, let's start this guy this game and start somebody else this game because of matchups. And I really haven't been much of, really, benching guys or anything like that. I've always thought we need to get our starters playing better. And now there's been times where maybe we tried some different things, but for the most part, we kept it pretty consistent. But I do think how somebody performed the last game will not have any bearing on how we start a game. But it may have a big bearing on how we attack or how we don't attack during the game.
Got it.
Yeah, I know you mentioned a while back Bryce is going to be out a while with the finger. Are you guys expecting to get him back this year, or is that?
Oh, yes. No question. No question. Now, we don't know. It was what is it, 2 weeks tomorrow that he had surgery? Is that right, Chris? 2 weeks tomorrow that he had surgery, and we knew positively that there would be no chance of him doing anything prior to 2 weeks. Hopeful he could be shooting by 3 weeks. So from our standpoint, he's still on schedule, but he hasn't done anything yet. But we're except rehab, but we're still on point to have him back still with at least 4 weeks left in the season, hopefully the regular season. I guess it would be closer to 3 weeks probably, but during the regular season, just depending on how many games are canceled between now and then and how long the season is extended. But the way it's scheduled now, I think the season is over the very end of February, if I'm not mistaken, February 27th. So we hope to have him back at least a couple of weeks prior to then. Karen, you not going to speak up today?
Hey, Bill, have you talked to TCU about their COVID situation? I guess they've only had 4 guys practicing for a while.
No, I have not. And no, but the thing about it is, Gary, they've got enough to play, obviously. But I have not spoken with them. It was my understanding that their protocol or whatever ended right around Monday or Tuesday. So it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be fair to them to play a game on Tuesday if it ends on Monday or Tuesday. So that was the reason why I thought this game was pushed back to Thursday, and that's as far as you can push it because everybody plays in the challenge on Saturday. But I have not talked to Jamie about it at all.
What? Go ahead, Karen.
No, I was just looking at kind of the big picture. Usually when we get to February, we're talking about the tournament. We're talking about, gearing up towards that. And in a year as crazy as this has been, and still kind of trying to work with the team you have to get them where you want them, is that all out the window? I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out where you really start looking ahead to that, or do you? That's what I've been sitting here thinking about.
No. We're definitely looking ahead. I mean, we're trying to gear ourselves up to have a storybook or a very happy end to our season. You can't do that unless you play well in the postseason. So no, we're gearing up to that. That has not changed. The only thing that is changed is probably the disappointment of being in a situation that midway through your league play, you're already significantly behind the league leader. And the reality is that, you probably, I mean, there's no guarantees, but they're probably not going to lose much, if any. So the whole thing is, you kind of gear down. I'll be honest. I haven't been in this situation in 18 years. I guess 2 years ago we were in a situation. I think we end up finishing kind of falling apart late, and we finished 12-6. But I mean, that's the least we've done at any point in time. And so you're 4-4 now, and 12-6 looks pretty good. If you can get to that, and we know that wasn't near good enough 2 years ago. So, but it's the same thing. You look across America. And it could be any blue blood, it could be any school at all. Everybody has gone through this where you go through some grind dog type days when you're probably in a situation where you have moved the focus past the immediate to how do we prepare for the next big thing, and the next big thing is the postseason. You want to compete in your league, you want to do as well as you can in your league, but you're probably playing for seeding. If teams are fortunate, and we're fortunate enough to get in, we're probably playing for seeding much more than what we played for in years past, because in years past we've controlled our own destiny. Now you don't control your own destiny. You'd have to have a lot of things fall perfect.
So are you coaching different then?
What's that?
Are you coaching different then because of that?
I don't know. I think I'm coaching different, Karen, in large part because of the crazy year this has been, and the isolation and the no energy. You think about it. I mean, you're 18 to 22 years old and you're hanging out with us, and we get our butts beat, just like 50% of all the teams get their butts beat on the day that they play. And so all across America, 50%. And, the reward for our guys is not to go back to the dorm and hang out or get their mind off. No, the reward for the guys is go hang out with the same guys that you just got your butt beat with, eat in the room, socially distance within your own teammates in your room, play video games, and get it all started at Groundhog's Day the next day. So that's a little bit different. So you're coaching, and I don't care how you feel. I don't know that that's the way that you do it as much this year, because I don't think the guys have a release, so to speak. And I mean, it used to be go to a movie. You could go out to dinner. I mean, if our guys had a team meeting, they'd have to do it wearing face masks and be 6 feet apart from each other, let alone going out to a wing place and, eating 1,000 wings and hanging out, so it's just a little different. So the coaching, I mean, I don't think from a tactical standpoint is different, but maybe your approach in not coming down too hard, I think is a little bit different this year than what it has been in years past. In the years past, you don't care. You don't care. If you upset somebody, make somebody mad, who cares? They're going to come back and fight the next day, and everybody's got a fresh attitude and that kind of stuff. This year, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
And that prepares you for that bubble situation with the postseason. That's going to be different too.
Well, every team in America is going through it, but the teams that are fortunate enough to play in the tournament, the bubble situation. I talked to a reporter today. The bubble situation, if they do it maybe the way that they're talking about, the Big 12 tournament's a bubble. You leave from the Big 12 tournament to go to the NCAA tournament, which is a bubble. I mean, there's potentially a month that guys could be tied up in their party of 34. 30 until the season's over, but after that, you get 4 administrators that can go, or an extra manager. I mean, that's it. And so it's going to take – teams will still be so geeked up to play, and if we're fortunate enough to be there, we'll be so geeked up to play. But it's different. The experience that we're providing our athletes is totally different than any experience that we've ever tried to do in the past. So
now, knowing you, just my last question: you've always hated to lose. I mean, that just was a word that you just didn't like. So in this situation, with all that you've just said, have you been losing any sleep, or because of the circumstances, is this just a little bit out of control where you can really lose sleep over stuff like this?
Well, first of all, I don't think how we played is out of control. I think the things that we can't control are out of our control, obviously. But how we played, we still prepare a certain way. We still scout a certain way. There's so many things that go into it that does not, the reality of what's going on outside of basketball does not impact what should happen inside of basketball. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it stinks. It's no fun. But I also see opportunity. I see an opportunity to really do something now when we should have everybody right where we want them. I see an opportunity to be our best moving forward when we know we haven't done that yet. I still think our best is good enough to beat a lot of folks. I see a lot of opportunity that will test the gifts of our players and the gifts of the coaches to see how we can kind of rally somebody, because like life, I mean, anybody can do it if it's going good. I mean, it doesn't take any courage or anything like that to be great whenever everything else is really good in your life. And now that we got some obstacles within our control and out of our control, now we can kind of find out just how competitive and how good we are. So I see it as a good opportunity.
Bill, have you guys scrimmaged more this week?
No. Now, when you say scrimmage, are you talking about like a real scrimmage? Have we gone 5-on-5 live and all that stuff? Absolutely, and probably gone a little longer. But as far as having officials come in or anything like that, no, we have not.
You guys are 6-1 when David McCormick scores in double figures. Do you see him as an X factor to the team, and who else do you think needs to step up to make the storybook ending?
I don't see any of our players that are playing the lion's share of the minutes X factors. I see them as guys for us to be good. They gotta play. So David, we're 6-1 when he scored in double figures. The way I look at that, and this is not on David, this is on the team. We should be 10-5 when he scores in double figures, because he should be scoring in double figures every game. That's kind of how I look at it. So David, to me, is not an X factor. Christian, Jalen aren't X factors. They're and Marcus, Oates, they're not X factors. There are reliables, and our reliables have to, obviously step up and play well when it counts. I don't look at, a bad example, but I don't see Travis Kelce as being an X factor. I think he's a guy that, needs to get 8 to 10 catches every game and score touchdowns. So that's kind of how I look at those guys I just mentioned.
What pleased you with the way that you guys played the first time against TCU?
Kenitra, we shared the ball really well. I don't think we guarded them great. I think they got off way too many good looks, but for the most part, we were pretty sound defensively. But offensively, it was a hard team to guard because all 5 guys were effective. David had a big game, and Juan had a big game, and Jalen and Christian were great, and Oach was terrific, and Marcus didn't play. So I just thought offensively it was probably about as good a ball and body movement as we've had.
Hey, with the schedule change, have you had to do double duty this week with turning right around Saturday playing again against a team you don't familiar with?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'll say this too. How many times we played Saturday, Monday?
Right.
In the past. So or NCAA tournaments Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. I think that I think it's double duty, but have we prepared for Tennessee? I'll tell you this, the answer would be no. We're preparing for the game tomorrow, and then the Saturday game will come after that.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Coach.